Hey there, welcome everybody to the regulation season finale of TXN Sports World. I am your host, Anthony Florio. I am joined by Michael Bullock. We are maybe awaiting the presence of good old MF Michael Fletcher. If he comes in, we will catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we'll hopefully have him back with us tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk. I know it's been a long time. I know it's been over a month since we've had a TXN Sports World show because of the lull period that we've had here, but that's about to change starting this week. Here tonight, we're going to preview the college football season, and we are going to preview the NFL season. And time permitting, we will also have a preview of the Big Three championship game that takes place this Sunday afternoon. And all right, we got MF. All right, so you didn't miss anything. We just got started with the intros and all that, so we're all good. We're all ready to go here. So there's not much more to say, gentlemen. You know how we do it. There used to be Power 5 conferences, but now we have Power 4 conferences. We're going to run down our preview of the four big conferences, that being the ACC, the Big 10, the Big 12, and the SEC. And we'll also talk about Notre Dame as well. And we're even going to preview a game, guys. We have a top 25 game, week 0. Goes down this Saturday, and we have a top 25 game. And it's a big one. Well, maybe not the most marquee matchup, but it is a big deal because of where it's going to be. So we got that. And of course, NFL, you know how we do that, division by division. And like I said, time permitting, we'll have MF come in and set the table for the Big Three championship games. So with all that being said, gentlemen, let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right on into it, guys. We have managed to survive the cold, dreary weeks without any college football to watch on Saturdays. But that's about to change in a major hurry. To kick off the 2025 campaign, week 0 brings an interesting slate. And the marquee game, of course, a top 25 game, which we'll get into in just a little bit. And while plenty more drama awaits on the horizon, week 0 serves as the ever-appreciated appetizer to another fun season of college football before we get into the main course. Very exciting future content announcement coming up at the end of the show. So without any further ado, gentlemen, let's do this. Let's start it off with the Atlantic Coast Conference. It's the Clemson Tigers versus the world in the ACC once again this year, though the Miami Hurricanes and SMU Mustangs also enter the season with legitimate playoff aspirations and a prominent spot in the preseason AP poll. There is a ton of returning talent in the conference, especially at the quarterback position, where Cade Klubnik of Clemson and Carson Beck, now of Miami, are two of college football's most recognizable stars. While there is a clear top 3 in the preseason picture, there are also more than a few teams capable of putting together a surprising run similar to the 2024 SMU team, with Louisville, Georgia Tech, Duke, Florida State, and Pitt all lurking on the periphery of the AP poll. That's to say nothing of arguably the biggest college football story of the offseason in Bill Belichick joining North Carolina for his first college coaching gig. And now it's our full conference preview. We're not going to go, fully into it, but, we're going to get into, the things that I feel need to be addressed. So with all that being said, let's dive right on in, guys. The top storylines, of course, the arrival of Bill Belichick. Few off-season stories in the college football world grab more headlines than North Carolina hiring Bill Belichick, with ESPN calling it one of the most stunning and compelling moves in college football history last December. Belichick has never held a college coaching position previously, spending his entire career in the NFL, and most recently coaching the New England Patriots in 2023 before staying on the sidelines last year. The Tar Heels are searching for their first 10-win season since 2015, and they are coming off a 6-7 finish last year. Andrew Luck joins Stanford in GM role. In a move that could reshape the way college football programs are built, Stanford hired former star quarterback Andrew Luck as general manager, placing him at the top of the program and putting him in charge of everything from coaching decisions, recruiting, and player personnel to fundraising, game day experience, and alumni relations. One of his first major moves in March was to fire coach Troy Taylor, who had been investigated twice in the past for his treatment of staffers, and to replace him with former Colts head coach Frank Reich in an interim capacity. Stanford has not won more than 4 games in the season since 2018, and it has posted 4 straight 3-9 finishes. And Heisman hopefuls: Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik and Miami quarterback Carson Beck both opened the season among the favorites to take home the 2025 Heisman Trophy, with Texas quarterback Arch Manning in pole position. Louisville quarterback Lamar Jackson is the most recent Heisman winner out of the ACC when he won it in 2016. And with that, I'm also going to get into, the intro, the biggest storylines, and the best games, and of course, the standings, or how I predict the standings will go. 5 huge non-conference games. And it starts next Friday night on August 29th, or should I say on August 30th, rather, with LSU at Clemson. We'll preview that game next week. And of course, Sunday, August 31st, Notre Dame at Miami. And these are the big non-conference games. September 20th, Florida at Miami, an MF special right there. November 28th, Georgia and Georgia Tech. And November 29th, Clemson and South Carolina. Things start off with a bang in week 1, with the ACC featured in arguably the 2 biggest games on the slate outside of the game of the week, Texas and Ohio State. In-state rivalries with the SEC round out the top 5 non-conference matchups, and it'll be interesting to see what Georgia versus Georgia Tech gives us for an encore after last year's 8-overtime thriller. And the top conference games of the season: October 17, Louisville at Miami; October 18, SMU at Clemson; and November 1st, Miami at SMU. If Louisville can win its October 17th game at Miami, it will vault the team into the national conversation and add significant importance to its back-to-back games against Clemson and SMU in November. Otherwise, it's Clemson, Miami, and SMU in the spotlight. And since the Tigers and Hurricanes don't play each other, the Mustangs have a chance to control their own destiny if they could run the table. So with that being said, my projected order of finish: I have Stanford finishing last at 17, California 16, Wake Forest 15, Virginia 14, Boston College 13, North Carolina 12, Virginia Tech 11, Syracuse 10, NC State 9, Pittsburgh at 8, Duke at 7, Florida State 6, Georgia Tech 5, Louisville 4, Miami 3, SMU 2, and I have the Clemson Tigers winning the ACC. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's Clemson against either SMU or Miami for the championship, in the championship game in December. So, but right now, Clemson is my front runner in the ACC, in a fairly decent ACC. So that's my story when it comes to the ACC. So good old MF Michael Fletcher, come on in. ACC, what looks good to you?
Yeah, no, this is going to be a very interesting season, no doubt about it. I partially have to disagree on the seedings. I will give you Stanford at 17. I got Wake Forest at 16, California at 15, Boston College 14, Syracuse at 13, 12 is Virginia, 11 is NC State, Pitt 10, Vatech 9, Florida State 8, North Carolina comes in 7th, Duke 6, um, Louisville 5, Georgia Tech 4. I got SMU at 3. Miami is 2, and number 1 will be Clemson. I do agree. Dabo Swinney and the boys should bounce back. Last year was not a good year for them at all. And I do believe that they should be fine. They'll get the last laugh. I feel like a lot of people felt like, what about SMU and everything else? I think SMU will be fine. I got them in third. I just feel like Miami with Mario Cristobal is going to be a little better, but at this point, it is Dabo Sweeney's conference to lose. So I got Clemson winning it all. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I definitely got Stanford finishing last overall. I mean, now as far as for where I think Bill Belichick and the North Carolina Tar Heels, I think are going to finish, it's going to be seventh. So I mean, they still got some work to do. I mean, before they could at least challenge the top three spots in the ACC. But as far as who I got winning it, yeah, it's definitely going to be the Clemson Tigers. You know, Dabo Sweeney has got this team ready to win another ACC. Now, I mean, and of course, I do think they're going to make the college football playoff, no doubt about it. I got Miami finishing second. I got SMU basically finishing in third. But yeah, I mean, I think those two could be in the college football playoff too. So yeah, so once again, overall, I got Miami winning the ACC. So it is yours, Florio.
All right. And we move on now to the conference that houses the national championship, that being the Big Ten, even though it's the team that MF and Bullock loathe and detest more than any other, but still, it's time for the Big Ten. And MF, it's only fitting you started off. What do you expect from your conference in 2025?
Well, I do believe that it will be a very interesting thing to watch. But here's my breakdown on this one. In last place, I got Purdue in 18. I think Northwestern's going to be 17. 16 is going to be Michigan State. I know a lot of people are a little more higher on Michigan State. I'm not completely sold on them at all. 15 I got is Maryland. 14 I got is UCLA. 13 is Wisconsin. Number 12 I got is Rutgers. Number 11 is Minnesota. Number 10, Washington. 9 will be Iowa. 8 will be Illinois. 7 will be Nebraska. 6 is Indiana. Once we get into the top 5, here we go. Number 5, I'm actually going to put Michigan here. And the reason why is because with a new quarterback, because we got so many new guys coming in. But I will say this: they will beat Ohio State. I got them beating Ohio State. I think it will be 5 in a row for Michigan. You know they play really hard when it's any other team. They might have a hiccup here and there, but being at the big house, being in Michigan, and with all the bad blood that Michigan and Ohio State's going to be in, I think Ohio State is going to lose to Michigan this year. 4, I think we're going to see USC make a bounce back. I think this is going to be a big year for the USC. I really think they're going to be a major threat. Number 3 I got is Penn State. I think Penn State is going to be right there at the end. And I think it's a two-horse race. I think it's going to be between Oregon and Ohio State for the Big Ten title. I'm giving Ohio State the head. So Oregon will be my 2. Ohio State will be number 1. But I will say this. I do believe it will be a fight to the end. I would not be shocked if we see Oregon and Ohio State playing for the Big Ten championship in Indianapolis. But I do got Ohio State at least being number 1 in the when it's all said and done. Doesn't necessarily mean I got them winning the Big Ten. So that's my story. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, like you said, I mean this is the championship conference because of unfortunately, well, the Buckeyes winning it last year, and they are the defending national champions. And but yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna go with Ohio State to to win the regular season championship, but as far as the overall, as Fletch just said, it could be anybody's for the taking. I could definitely see Oregon basically a challenge for it. I mean, you could also see Penn State. I mean, USC could also be something. And remember, I mean, we had that surprise team last year in Indiana, so who knows what Indiana's going to bring this season? Yeah, and USC, like you said, could be a bounce back year for them, but we'll see. And but yeah, I definitely got Michigan in the top five as well. And of course, like Fletch just said, you know what he and I are looking forward to, even though it's not till November. Michigan, Ohio State, the game, and as of late, Michigan has owned Ohio State. And remember, Fletch, for many years, with it was even though we didn't have a game between them because of COVID, but all the years before that, Ohio State owned us.
Yeah.
That was until 2021 when things finally turned around and Michigan got started the winning streak. And then of course the following year in 2022, they went into the horseshoe and literally ran away with that game. I mean, if you know what I mean, Fletch. I mean, it was
On
an
their way to,
absolute.
if you remember, that was on their way to their. That was the year that they finally got to the Big Ten championship game too, because for that was the boogeyman for them for so many years. But they finally got to the Big Ten championship game, and then got to the playoff. Well, got to the playoff upended, but then we all remember what happened in 23.
Yeah, and then of course we beat Ohio State again, but it took an interception near the end that pretty much sealed the win, and that's what eventually led to Michigan winning the national championship. And that was a moment that me and Fletch we will never forget.
Mm-mm.
And then the following year was a little bit of a hard times year for Michigan, but they got. I mean, the thing is, Fletch going into that game, that other edition of the game, nobody was giving Michigan a chance.
No,
Nobody did.
everybody thought Ohio State was going to blow them out.
They were going to run
Everybody
roughshod with
thought
them.
Ohio State was going to blow them out.
And I remember watching that game, Fletch, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, if Michigan can keep this game close going into the fourth quarter,
We got them.
they just might have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And they did. And believe me, when they oh, and believe me, when Michigan won that game, I was immediately thinking, and we were all thinking the same thing. Ryan Day is done. He's
Mm-hmm.
finished. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we all thought that he was going to get canned, but ultimately Ohio State won the national championship, and that literally saved his job.
Mm-hmm.
But we heard some things even after winning the national championship that there was actually some people that were still calling for Ryan Day to be fired. And I'm like, wait a
Yeah,
minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. You just won. They just won the national championship, and you're still calling for him to be fired. And it was
because of the fact that this is that rivalry between Michigan and Ohio State. It
it's
doesn't matter because remember, if you remember anything beforehand, remember Michigan fans were yelling for Jim Harbaugh to be fired because he couldn't beat Ohio State.
but
And
look what happened.
it was the same thing. It was the same thing, the same pressure. The AD got it in the throat for a few times where people were begging for us to fire Jim Harbaugh, and the AD was like, "No, we're gonna stay the course. This is our
Mm-hmm.
guy,
Mm-hmm.
and damn it for you, damn if we are, damn if we're not. He's a damn good football coach. Give him a chance." And
And it was rewarded
then everything,
eventually, Fletch. It was rewarded because look what
yes,
happened in 23. They won
yes.
the national championship. So to all those people that were calling for him to be fired, they unfortunately, they were left with, I mean, they had to eat that slice of humble pie.
But the thing is that, but I get why they're pressuring Ryan Day, because the thing is, you have to understand, if you don't beat Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
it dwells on you. It eats you alive. And the thing is, you constantly hear about it year in and year out. That was the year you blew it. That was the year you couldn't beat the Wolverines. And
And
it eats you up. And here's the
and
thing.
and
Think
don't
about
forget,
this.
Fletch. I mean, Michigan. They didn't have a good team last year, and
No,
somehow
they
went into
didn't.
Ohio State and won.
But the thing is, what makes me very hopeful is not only did they beat Ohio State, but then they went into the bowl game, a meaningless bowl game, and
Beat
they took down
Alabama,
Alabama. They took down Bama.
and
What does that tell you?
and you want to talk about closing a season strong? They did that, and
Mm.
it makes Michigan fans believe this could be a comeback year for them.
And plus, you got the best quarterback in college football. You got one of the most exciting quarterbacks with Bryce Underwood coming to Michigan. This was the number one player
Mm-hmm.
coming out of high school, and he rejected. He was offered a spot in Auburn to join the SEC, the greatest, supposedly the greatest conference in all of college football, and he's now rocking the maize and blue of Michigan.
Yeah.
What does
And
that tell you?
oh man, and I do agree. I think Michigan is going to beat Ohio State again this year. But here's the thing: if that were to happen, Fletch, what's going to happen in Ohio State? Could we start to hear those rumblings again?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The rumblings are going to start. It's going to restart again. It's going to reignite, and it's going to be even louder than ever before.
And they're going to be
And
like, "Hey, we don't give two you know what's that you're a defending national champion."
yeah,
The thing is, for what would it be, like 5 straight years?
yeah.
Five
I don't
straight
think
years.
I
You
think he's
can't
never
be
beaten Michigan State. I think he's never beaten Michigan. From what I know,
and
I think he's over. I
so
don't think he's ever beaten Michigan, if
if
that I can remember.
if I were Ryan Day right now, it's like you got to beat Michigan this year because
Yeah,
if you don't, that hot seat is going to get hot because the Ohio State fans they're going to be calling the AD and they're going to be saying, "Look, we don't give two you know what's about us being national defending national champions. We haven't beaten our rivals for 5 straight freaking years.
yep,
There needs to be change."
yeah.
So
And there will be a lot of people demanding a coaching change.
and I
It's
will and I will tell you this, Fletch. That noise will not stop until the Ohio State athletic director finally says, "You know what? We hear you.
we have no choice.
We have no choice but to make this change." So this game this year is going to be make or break for Ryan Day because if
Yeah,
he doesn't, I think he could be out the door, no matter what. So that's pretty much all I got to say on it. So Florio, your thoughts on the Big Ten, and what do you think when it comes to this year's Michigan Ohio State game?
It's a make or break for Ryan Day. There is no doubt about it. It's clear as day. If
And
if
do
if
you see?
Michigan if Michigan beats Ohio State again this year, you heard it here first, Ryan Day will be fired immediately after that game. I'm making up that prediction. Remember where you were tonight, folks.
All right.
If Michigan beats Ohio State, Day is done after that game. I don't give a damn what they say about it.
All right, so I'm putting you on the record right here, Florio.
Put me on the record.
Right
I
here
don't give
tonight. Right here tonight on August, was it 21st?
Yes.
August 21st, 2025, folks. You heard it from me and Florio, and I'm pretty sure Michael Fletch is going to agree. All three of us, we say on this very day, if Ryan Day doesn't win against Michigan this year,
he gone.
He is gone. Or as Mr. McDinkleberg would once said, you're fired.
Yes. All right. Now, let me get into my stuff here. After boasting 4 college football playoff teams and the national championship last year, the Big Ten is aiming for a dramatic encore in 2025. Ohio State is set to defend its crown with a retooled yet respected roster, while Penn State enters the campaign as another top-ranked team. Oregon, Illinois, Michigan, and Indiana all landed in the preseason AP Top 25 as well. In short, the road to Indianapolis will be a hotly contested one. So the big storylines, Penn State's all-in season. After seeing Ohio State's senior-heavy approach lead to a national title in 2024, Penn State took a similar stance for 2025. Several top veterans, including Drew Aller and Singleton and Allen and Dennis Sutton and defensive tackle Zane Durant, are back to lead the Nittany Lions' pursuit of a championship. And I know you guys are all about Ohio State and Michigan. I get that. I understand that. But Penn State, that is a team you need to watch out for, gentlemen. That's the team you got to watch for. Potential party crashers. Indiana made an incredible surge in Kurt Cignetti's debut season and reached the college football playoff. Can another mid-tier Big Ten squad do the same? Illinois has reasonably high expectations, while Indiana, Iowa, Nebraska, and USC all project as likely bowl teams. Are any of them actually much better than a 7-5 or 8-4 type of team? And the Big Ten's role in college football playoff expansion. Whether you want to see further college football playoff expansion is a fine conversation. The reality is that's probably on the way, though, for obvious reasons. Together with the SEC, the Big Ten is poised to have noticeable power in those discussions. So the best games, of course, we got 4 big non-conference games all starting next Saturday with a potential game of the year, a potential game of the century. Texas at Ohio State, big noon Saturday. We're gonna be pretty much leading off with the main event next week. August 30th, Texas at Ohio State. 2 big games on September 6th. Michigan at Oklahoma, Iowa at Iowa State. September 13th, Wisconsin at Alabama. And on October 18th, you have USC at Notre Dame. That first one is huge. The nation's top-ranked team comes to Columbus for a Week 1 showdown. Michigan is eyeing a solid win at Oklahoma in Week 2, as Iowa has a chance to secure a road rivalry top 25 victory at ISU. And Wisconsin and USC later have opportunities for a huge upset against a preseason top 10 opponent. In the top 5 top conference games, September 20th, Illinois and Indiana. September 27th, Oregon at Penn State. October 11th, Michigan at USC. November 1st, Penn State at Ohio State. And, of course, the game that MF and Bullock will have circled in blood red on their calendar, Ohio State at Michigan, November 29th. The margin for error in the Big Ten is awfully thin, so Illinois and Indiana will be battling for a valuable early win. Penn State encounters both Oregon and Ohio State this season, and those inclusions are self-explanatory. Michigan and USC want to rejoin the best of the conference, and Ohio State, well, it desperately wants to avoid a 5th straight defeat at the hands of Michigan. And the best of the rest. September 20th, Michigan at Nebraska. September 27th, Indiana at Iowa, and USC at Illinois. October 18th, Penn State at Iowa. November 8th, Indiana at Penn State. And November 29th, Oregon and Washington. All of these matchups are marquee games for third-tier contenders, plus an intriguing final weekend trip to Washington for Oregon. Of particular note is September 27th, a loaded Saturday that looks primed to shape the Big Ten race. And this is my projected order of finish. I have Purdue at 18, Northwestern at 17, Maryland at 16, UCLA at 15, Michigan State at 14, Minnesota 13, Rutgers 12, Wisconsin 11, Washington 9, Iowa 9, USC 8, Nebraska 7, Indiana 6, Illinois 5, Michigan 4, Oregon 3, Penn State 2, and Ohio State. I have Ohio State winning it, and I'm going to go as far as to say I think it's going to be Penn State and Ohio State for the Big Ten championship in Indianapolis in December. So that's our story when it comes to the Big Ten. Let's now get into the Big 12, and Michael Bullock. Let's get your thoughts on the Big 12. If you need, do you need to know who the teams are, or do you know who?
I got them right here.
Okay.
Yeah, I got them. It's, of course, those that are in there are Arizona, Arizona State, Baylor, BYU, Cincinnati, Colorado, Houston, Iowa State, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, TCU, Texas Tech, UCF, Utah, and West Virginia. Those are your teams. And of course, remember, it was Arizona State who won the won the Big 12 last year and got that berth into the college football playoff when they basically just demolished Iowa State 45 to 19. So Arizona State is looking to defend it, while you got Iowa State who could be in contention again, but then you got other teams like Kansas State and Texas Tech who could be in the mix. Nobody knows where Colorado's going to go when it comes to, especially with head coach Deion Sanders, because he lost a lot of big-time pieces to the NFL with Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. So pretty much as far as who I got winning the Big 12 overall, ooh, that's a tough one, but I got to go with Arizona State. I mean, many people think they're going to win it again, and until there's another team out there that could prove me wrong, I got to go with the team that won it last year, and that's Arizona State. So it is yours, Florio.
After a topsy-turvy season in which Arizona State soared to a stunning Big 12 title, the 2025 campaign may be another wild one in the conference. However, the league is still chasing the Sun Devils. Nevertheless, that target on ASU's back has a host of contenders. 3 programs also landed in the preseason AP Top 25, and 3 more schools loomed as the highest finishers on the very outside of the poll. So with that, let's get into the storylines for the Big 12. Arizona State's drive to repeat. Kenny Dillingham took over a flailing program in 2023 and promptly went 3-9, which was no surprise. Last year, ASU entered the campaign as the projected last place finisher in the Big 12, and it turned out the joke was on us, guys. The team soared to a Big 12 title and returned the bulk of that production, especially on defense. While the Sun Devils are not a runaway favorite, they're certainly the preseason leader. Colorado's new reality. Gone are Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, 2 players the caliber of which Colorado simply did not have prior to Deion Sanders' arrival. Now, without his son playing quarterback and a generational 2-way player, it's time for the head coach to show he can build a sustainable program in Boulder. Texas Tech's big money gamble. Armed with a well-funded collective, nice to have a billionaire former player, and the Red Raiders flex their NIL muscle in the transfer portal this offseason. But now the important part, showing that strength on the field. And Utah's offensive reload. Cam Rising's continued injury woes led to a disappointing year at Utah, which has an interesting outlook for 2025. While the offensive line returns all 5 starters, the skill position group led by New Mexico transfer Devin Dampier at quarterback is completely new. Will the overhaul spark a resurgence for the Utes in what might be longtime coach Kyle Whittingham's final season? Of course, the best games in the conference, non-conference games. August 29th, you got Auburn at Baylor. September 1st, TCU at North Carolina. 3 big games on September the 6th. Iowa at Iowa State, Kansas at Missouri, and Baylor at SMU. September 13th, you got Pittsburgh and West Virginia. And September 20th, SMU at TCU. The first 2 games pit a Big 12 squad against big-name coaches Hugh Freeze and Bill Belichick in Week 1. The remainder are traditional rivalries, highlighted by the first tilt between Baylor and SMU since 2016. The top conference games, the game that you're going to see this Saturday, Iowa State versus Kansas State in Dublin, Ireland. And we're going to preview that game in just a little bit. October 11th, Arizona State at Utah. October 18th, Texas Tech at Arizona State. November 1st, Arizona State at Iowa State and Texas Tech at Kansas State. And November 22, Kansas State at Utah. In theory, these 5 games will have a considerable impact on the Big 12 standings. Iowa State and Kansas State kick off the season with a Week 0 showdown in Dublin, while the middle of the campaign is stacked with key games for Arizona State and Texas Tech in particular. And the best of the rest, September 20th, Baylor at Arizona State and Texas Tech at Utah. September 26th, TCU at Arizona State. October 11th, Kansas at Texas Tech and TCU at Kansas State. October 18th, Utah at BYU. And November 15th, Utah at Baylor. Consider this the if they're actually going to compete section. These are marquee opportunities for teams such as Baylor, BYU, Kansas, TCU, and even Utah. At the very least, it might be the difference between maybe 6-6 and 8-4. So, as far as who I've got finishing, I got Cincinnati finishing 16, Houston 15, Arizona 14, UCF 13, West Virginia 12, Colorado 11, Oklahoma State 10, BYU 9, Kansas 8, TCU 7, Baylor 6, Texas Tech 5, Utah 4, Iowa State 3. Slight disagreement, Bullock. I have Arizona State 2, and I have Kansas State winning the Big 12 for the regular season. And my projected title game will be Arizona State and Kansas State, and that's anybody's ball game there. But I got to go with, I'm with you in Arizona State, but my gut's telling me K-State for some odd reason. I don't know why, but it's telling me to go with K-State. So I'm going to go with them for now. So give me Kansas State in the Big 12. So MF, Big 12. Who you got?
All right, here we go. This is going to be very interesting. When it comes to the Big 12,
Did we lose MF?
can you hear me?
I don't know.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
All right, because I'm trying to flip through two different screens, so just bear with, okay?
All right, no worries there.
So in last place I got is you. Well, actually, I'm gonna have to do it this way then because I probably won't be able to go beyond what I got. But I'm gonna say this honestly. I totally agree with you guys saying that it was gonna. You say Kansas State and Arizona State possibly battling it for the Big 12 championship. I totally agree that it'll probably be them too. I actually do have Kansas State winning it all though. I got Kansas State winning the conference and being the number one. So really nothing more to go. So Anthony, I believe we got is the SEC next.
It is indeed the SEC. In the past 6 years, 4 of the college football playoff national champions have been SEC teams. Will 2025 be the season that yet another SEC team claims the title? Texas, Georgia, and Alabama all entered the season with new starting quarterbacks. Texas's Arch Manning is under some very bright lights as we wait to see whether he lives up to the hype in his new starting role. Georgia's Gunnar Stockton got a taste at starting quarterback, stepping up in the 2025 Sugar Bowl against Notre Dame, after now Miami quarterback Carson Beck got injured in the 2024 SEC championship game. And Alabama's Ty Simpson has a big season ahead as Alabama looks to make a run at the college football playoff after just missing it last season. Former Washington State quarterback John Mateer joins Oklahoma this fall after ranking number 1 in the top 100 transfers list from the 2024-25 transfer cycle. Could Oklahoma bounce back after a 7-loss season last year? Well, only one way to find out. I have this particular section, this particular conference, I've got things set up a little bit differently. So we're going to start with the must-see games, of course. And we got quite a few of them. Starting on August 30th with a huge double main event. Texas at Ohio State and LSU at Clemson. We have so many questions about each of these 4 teams, and we're happy that they basically paired off with each other to help answer them. Toss in Alabama at Florida State in between the noon kickoff in Columbus and the evening kickoff in Clemson, and you've got yourself a solid SEC headliner for each time slot on the first Saturday of the season. Georgia at Tennessee, September 13. The Bulldogs and Volunteers meet in September for the first time since 2018. And you got to love that when they can spark the largest possible existential crises. And Alabama and Georgia, September 27th. We got Bama and Georgia, guys. Rematch of the second best game of 2024. Aside from Ohio State, Michigan, no game did a better job of reminding us that huge college football games will still be huge, even if the national title stakes are dampened by a bigger playoff. We also have LSU and Ole Miss on September 27th. You got Texas at Florida on October 4. Ole Miss at Georgia on October 18. Alabama and South Carolina October 25. LSU and Alabama on November 8th. And Texas at Georgia on November 15. So with that, here are some numbers. I do have some numbers you need to know for this. The first one is 3. According to the All-State Playoff Predictor, 3 of the 4 teams with at least a 10% chance of winning the national championship are in the SEC. Texas at 24%, Georgia at 18%, and Alabama at 11%. The 4th team is Ohio State of the Big Ten at 11%. The next number is 0, the number of new head coaches in the SEC this season, marking just the 4th time this has happened since the league expanded to 12 teams in 1992. There also were only 4 coordinator changes this offseason after more than half of the SEC's coordinators were replaced following the 2023-24 season. And finally, the last number is plus 250. The odds of Texas winning the SEC championship, according to ESPN Bet, which are the longest odds for an SEC favorite in at least 15 years. The preseason favorite has gone on to win the SEC title in 6 of the last 10 seasons. So with that being said, this is my order of finish when it comes to the SEC. Number 16, Mississippi State. Number 15, Kentucky. Number 14, Vanderbilt. Arkansas 13, Auburn 12, Missouri 11, South Carolina 10, Florida 9, Oklahoma 8, Tennessee 7, Ole Miss 6, Texas A&M 5, LSU 4, Alabama 3, Georgia 2, and I have Texas winning the SEC. Steve Sarkisian loves his roster, and he has plenty of reason to be excited, not only with Arch Manning, but with receivers DeAndre Moore Jr. and Ryan Wingo, and tailbacks Quintrevion Wisner and CJ Baxter returning. The Longhorns will have to replace 4 starting offensive linemen and fill some holes on the defensive front. But nonetheless, I have the Texas Longhorns winning the regular season SEC championship. I got them in the championship game. Who they'll be playing against, well, it's anybody's guess, but I would have to say maybe a slight edge to Georgia. But I wouldn't be surprised if Bama gets there. Wouldn't surprise me if LSU gets there. But I got to say right now, my projected SEC title game in Atlanta will be Texas and Georgia. But we'll see how that goes as we get started. So give me the Texas Longhorns to win the SEC. Hook 'em horns. So not much more to say. MF, SEC. We know how high you've been on Texas over these years. But I know going into this year, I don't think I think this might be the most high you've been on them.
Right now, Texas could be the team that could win the national championship. Like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to say it. I think Texas is going to be the one. I think when this is all said and done, I think we might be looking at a Texas national championship for the first time since the years of Vince Young and that team that knocked off the powerhouse USC in the greatest Rose Bowl game in the history of the game. And not only that, but probably one of the greatest national championship games we've ever seen in our lifetime. I think Texas is poised to be that team that could go all the way and win the national championship. I'm not making the bold prediction. I'm not going to make it as bold as Anthony about the Ryan Day thing, but this is the closest thing to me putting my stamp down on this. I think Texas has a great chance. And I'm saying maybe a 90% chance of winning the national championship. Now, I know that's a big thing to say, especially now, but I'm gonna call it as I see it. I do believe that they have a very good chance of winning the whole damn thing. So, I got them winning the conference. Obviously, I got Georgia second. I got LSU third. I got Alabama four. So that's my top four. Nothing more to say, Michael Bullock. It's yours.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely with you when it comes to Texas. I mean, especially with Arch Manning. The roster that Steve Sarkisian has. Um, yeah, the stakes are definitely going to be high for them, and I could definitely see them being in contention. I think they can win the whole darn thing. I mean, because that roster's made, but then again, you take a look at you got a bunch of teams that's in the top 25 right now. I mean, it's not just Texas, but you got Georgia, you got Alabama, you got LSU, you got Florida, Texas A&M. Yeah, but to me, when it comes to the SEC, it's only going to come down to I got Texas winning the SEC, and I think I could see them winning it all. But I think Georgia will definitely give them some fits, but never count out Alabama. I mean, the as long as they're there, you know they're going to be in it. I don't see them winning it, but I think they're going to be in it all throughout the season. You can also make the case for LSU as well. So that's my top four when it comes to. I mean, I got Texas winning it. And then I got Georgia second, Alabama third, and LSU fourth. So there's really nothing more for me to say except so Floria, we actually got a game preview as part of, like you said, week 0, and it's in
Well,
Dublin, Ireland.
yes,
What
we
time
do.
to be in Dublin?
Yes, we do. But before we get to that, we got to talk about my team, the team
Oh yeah,
that
that's right. I forgot about that.
I understand. Yeah, I know. Thing is, here's. Oh boy! All right. So we have one last thing to get to before we get to that first game, and that is my team coming off the most magical season I probably have ever had as a Notre Dame fan, outside of when I was a little kid. that being the 2024 season and that being the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, going on a remarkable run all the way to the college football playoff national championship game before getting their hearts ripped out by the Ohio State Buckeyes 7 months ago. And, well, I'll say it like this. College football season is upon us. Of course, Kansas State and Iowa State kick things off this Saturday in Dublin, of course. Before we get to that, though, Notre Dame fans like me and Brian Keenan and Mike Keenan and all the other Notre Dame fans out there, we got to wait a week and a day to see the Irish take on the Miami Hurricanes in South Florida on the Sunday night of Labor Day weekend. But excitement ahead of a Notre Dame season hasn't been this high in quite some time. Fan excitement is one thing, but how does a less biased outlet see Notre Dame's upcoming season going? I took a look at ESPN's matchup predictor for the 2025 season, and it sees big things for Notre Dame on a game-by-game basis. So going into the Miami game, Notre Dame, according to ESPN matchup predictor, they have Notre Dame at 55%, Miami at 45%. The second game against Texas A&M, Notre Dame 69%, Texas A&M 31%. Notre Dame against Purdue on September 20, Notre Dame 97%, Purdue 3%. Notre Dame and Arkansas on September 27th, Notre Dame 69%, Arkansas 31%. October 4, Notre Dame and Boise State. Notre Dame 86%, Boise State 14%. I think we all know the reasoning for that. Ashton Gianti now in the NFL. So that's a big reason for that. October 11, Notre Dame and NC State. Notre Dame 91% favorite, NC State 9%. October 18, Notre Dame and USC. Notre Dame 73%, just about 72, 73%. USC around 27, 28. November 1, Notre Dame and Boston College. Notre Dame 85%, Boston College 15%. November 8th, Notre Dame against Navy. Notre Dame 94.5%, Navy 5.5%. November 15th, Notre Dame at Pittsburgh. Notre Dame 83%, Pittsburgh 17%. November 22, Notre Dame and Syracuse. Notre Dame 91%, Syracuse 9%. And November 29th against Stanford, Notre Dame 85%, Stanford about 15%. So 9.8 to 2.2, right around 10-2 or so is the projected record. 7%. ESPN has given Notre Dame a 7% chance of running the table and going 12-0. 6 or more wins, pretty much 100%. College football playoff odds, 56% of making the college football playoff. They're definitely a playoff team. I have no doubt about that in my mind whatsoever. Going to the national championship, they only have an 11% chance of doing so. And winning the whole thing, like I wish they would have done last year, only 5%. That's fine. Predicting what they're going to do, how they'll perform is a dangerous task, but it provides a great baseline for where Notre Dame enters this season. I'm not convinced the FPI doesn't lean slightly in the SEC's favor. It hardly applies here, as Notre Dame only plays 2 SEC opponents this year. What the matchup predictor and FPI both do is say the part a lot of Notre Dame fans want to keep silent. Notre Dame is better than each team it plays and could go undefeated in the 2025 regular season. I don't see it happening, though. Would I like to see it happen? Yes, I would. But the thing is, we don't have Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard's out. He's in the NFL now. He's in Indy. So CJ Carr, next man up. He's got some big shoes to fill. The last couple of years, I mean, first it was Sam Hartman, then it was Riley Leonard. You remember Riley Leonard started slow, but then he turned on the burners, and oh my goodness, once he got going, Notre Dame got going, and they made it all the way to the the playoff. They beat Indiana in the first round. They beat a short staff Georgia team in the Sugar Bowl because of Carson Beck's injury. and then winning a very thrilling Orange Bowl against Penn State, and then coming up just short against Ohio State. But then again, they dug themselves too big of a hole. But damn it to hell, they made a valiant effort, man. They made a valiant effort, but they just couldn't get over the hump. So that's the story on that. So, when you look at that schedule, when you look at that Notre Dame schedule, I'm very interested to see what CJ Carr does. And when you look at the schedule here, guys, I'll be honest, when it comes to the ones I'm worried about, the one I'm most worried about is Miami. I'm going to be honest. The Miami game is the one I'm most worried about. A&M a little, but like I said, Miami, we'll see. I'm a little iffy on that one. A&M, I think they can win that one because it's at home. Purdue, they should win that one because they smashed them last year. We know that. Arkansas, I think they'll win that one. Boise, I can definitely see them winning that one, though, especially, of course, no Ashton Gianti. He's with Vegas. So, NC State, they should have no trouble with that one. SC, that's another game I'm worried about. But with it being at Notre Dame and with Notre Dame's recent success against SC, I think Notre Dame can win that one. Boston College, I think they'll win that one. They should win that one rather handily. Navy, after how they smashed them at MetLife last year, I think they can win that one. Pittsburgh, I like their chances there as well. Syracuse, that might be a bit of a tough one, but I think Notre Dame will find a way to win that one. And then Stanford, they should have no problem with that. So looking at that schedule, I'm worried about. I'm like I said, I'm worried about. I'm worried about that Miami game. That's the only one I'm truly worried about, especially with it being in Miami. I mean, that's going to be tough. So possibly a one-loss team. We'll see. But I do believe Notre Dame will make the college football playoff again. I don't know if they're going to go as far as last year. I would love to see it. I mean, what a story that would have been if 1 year after MF and Bullock celebrated Michigan winning the national championship, could you have imagined if Notre Dame had won that national championship? Oh, my goodness gracious. You want to talk about the greatest back-to-back stretch in history. MF and Bullock with Michigan and me with Notre Dame. They had their moment with Michigan, and if I had gotten my moment with Notre Dame, that would have been, oh, my goodness, that would have been a true finish the story moment. It really would have. But, it is what it is. But they're a playoff team. There's no doubt about it. Championship. Do I want to see it? Yes. But do I think they're championship caliber? I don't know. But we'll see. So not much more. MF, Notre Dame. You heard the schedule. You see the schedule for Notre Dame. I think they will definitely be a playoff caliber team, no doubt about it. They're definitely good enough to make the playoff. Going all the way though, I don't know. I want to see it, but I just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think the schedule is a little more difficult this year than it was in the last couple of years. Do I see them making the playoffs? I think they definitely can get in. I just don't know if they're going to be able to make it all the way to the national championship like they did a year ago. I think it's going to be a very interesting situation. I think it's going to be a very uh, interesting storyline. I think there are definitely some games that could trip up Notre Dame, especially right out of the gate with the game against Miami, and then there's the one against USC at like you said at Notre Dame Stadium. The schedule is favorable for Notre Dame, to say the very least, but I just don't know if they're going to get there. I think that's going to be a very um, tough thing to say. So we'll see how it plays out. But I do believe they'll get at least 10, maybe 11 wins. I just don't know if that's going to be enough to get them over the hump. We'll wait and see, but you know, we'll see how it plays out. Bullock, you have final say.
Yeah, I could see them basically going 10, 11 wins. Yeah, I can definitely see them making the college football playoff. Whether they can go on that run like they did last year, I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I mean, I don't see it happening, but then again, remember we said it last year, and look what happened with Notre Dame. They got to the national championship game, so you never know. We'll see. So 10, 11 wins, yes. College football playoff, yes. Getting to the national championship, I would say probably not. But like I said, you never know. So let's move on, Florio.
Gentlemen, we've got a game. Here we go. Week 0. And we started off with a game that will take place this Saturday afternoon, 12 p.m. Eastern on ESPN from Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. The number 17 Kansas State Wildcats squaring off against the number 22 Iowa State Cyclones. ESPN will have it. On the call for that game will be Dave Patch, Dusty Dvorak, and Taylor McGregor. And Kansas State opening up as a 3-point favorite in this game. And friends, this is just a little example of what you're going to see 1 week from tonight when we return with another season of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. So here we go. To close the 2024 regular season, Iowa State notched a 29-21 win over Kansas State to ultimately earn a spot in the Big 12 championship game. Oh, hold on a second. I lost my thing for a second. All right. Iowa State notched a 29-24 win over K-State to ultimately earn a spot in the Big 12 championship game. However, Kansas State is favored to get a little revenge. Led by dual threat quarterback Avery Johnson, the Wildcats return a bunch of experience on both sides of the ball. Their offensive line has been retooled and is a modest concern, but Iowa State's defensive front is also rebuilding. The timing of the matchup, in theory, works in Kansas State's favor. If the Wildcats' versatile rushing attack ends up stalling, though, Iowa State will have a great opportunity to snag a third straight win in what they call Farmageddon. But for me, I got to go with Kansas State to win this game. Close game, 24-20. Kansas State defeats Iowa State. So not much more to say. MF, number 17, Kansas State. Number 22, Iowa State. Week 0, Aviva Stadium, Dublin, Ireland. Let's go.
Yes, and it's going to be a very interesting game, no doubt about it. I'm with you. I think Kansas State's going to win this one. I think it's just going to be a very interesting throwdown, to say the very least. But I got Kansas State winning, so really nothing more to add. Michael Bullock, is yours.
Yeah, I got Kansas State winning this one as well. So yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more to say. So let's get into the NFL.
And we're going to do it. And when it comes to the NFL, we're going to go from the least compelling division to the most compelling division, as voted on by our friends at NFL.com, and they projected the least compelling division to be the AFC South, and I'm inclined to agree on that. So we're going to start it off with the AFC South. You know the teams, and honestly, I've been going back and forth. But you know what? I think it's high time we shake things up around here. I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars to win this division. New Jaguars head coach Liam Cohen should be able to bring out the best in Trevor Lawrence following an impressive 2024 season as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play caller. Under his tutelage, Baker Mayfield posted career highs in passing yards, 4,500, and touchdowns with 41. Also, the Bucs fielded the fourth-ranked rushing attack. Lawrence will rack up yards, though, Lawrence will whack up yards through the air with Pro Bowler Brian Thomas Jr. and rookie first rounder Travis Hunter as his top receivers. Jacksonville's pass rushing duo Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker could lead a solid defense. I think the Jaguars should be considered a dark horse to win the AFC South. So I'm going to go with Jacksonville to win the AFC South. I got the Houston Texans finishing second, the Tennessee Titans finishing third, and the Indianapolis Colts finishing in fourth. So that's how I see the AFC South playing out. MF, AFC South. Who you got?
Slight disagreement. I'm still writing on Houston. I just feel like they are still the class of the division. Don't get me wrong. I like the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think they're going to be a step up, especially getting Travis Hunter, who I believe is going to be the rookie of the year. I think it will be a very explosive team. I got Houston 1. I got Jacksonville 2. I do agree Tennessee 3rd and Indianapolis dead last. I give you that. But I just have a flip flop at the top. That's my personal thought. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Florio, but the thing is, we need to see it first with Liam Cohen under Jacksonville. So I mean, I think they'll be better, no doubt, but I'm still riding Houston. I mean, I still think they're going to win this division. I got Jacksonville finishing second, Tennessee third, and Indianapolis fourth. So let's move on to the next one.
And coming in at number 7, we go from the AFC South to the NFC South. So MF, NFC South, who you got?
I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think Tampa is just the class of the division right now. I just feel like they're the best team out there. There's some people even talking about maybe a Super Bowl run for Tampa Bay. I know that's a lot to say there, but I kind of feel like they're going to be the class right now. I got Atlanta second. I got New Orleans third, and unfortunately, I got Carolina in dead last. I just feel like Tampa is with Baker Mayfield, with the crew that they got. I think they're going to make a major step forward. See Atlanta maybe making a run here. I just don't see them getting over the hump, but I do see them at least making a run here as far as it goes. And then I got New Orleans. New Orleans is like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and I'm not convinced about Carolina. That's why I can easily pencil them in dead last. So Tampa, Atlanta, New Orleans, Carolina. That's my 4. Bullet, go.
Yeah, I got to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this division too. I mean, with what Baker Mayfield has done with the running this offense, I mean, I could see them going on a deep playoff run. Whether they get to the Super Bowl, that's another thing. So, I mean, you still got some good offensive weapons there. So, yeah, I got them finishing first. I got the Atlanta Falcons finishing second. I got the New Orleans Saints finishing third, and the Carolina Panthers finishing dead last. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah, it's Tampa Bay. With new offensive coordinator Josh Grizzer, Tampa Bay could have a rocky start to the season as they find their offensive rhythm under a new play caller. Tristan Wirfs will be on the mend from knee surgery, though head coach Todd Bowles expects the 2-time All-Pro left tackle to quote-unquote be back sooner than later. The Buccaneers could stumble through September, but they still have the playmakers to rack up points if Baker Mayfield gets enough time to throw from the pocket. Tampa Bay can slowly ramp up wideout Chris Godwin's snap count as he recovers from ankle surgery, with rookie first-rounder Emeka Egbuka ready to join Mike Evans and Jalen McMillan in a receiver trio. Bucky Irving and Rashad White can provide balance on the ground. As long as Todd Bowles' defense can limit explosive plays, Tampa Bay will remain atop the NFC South. So I got the same order you guys have. Tampa Bay first, Atlanta second, New Orleans third, and Carolina in the basement. Coming in at number 6, it's our division, guys. It's the AFC East. And we started off with Michael Bullock. Bullock, AFC East. I wonder who's going to win this division.
Yeah, I think this is an easy choice. I'm gonna go with the Buffalo Bills to win this division. I mean, look, they've been the kings of this division since 2020, and I'll even and let's and of course this is their final year at Highmark Stadium, so they want it to be a big year. And I even went on the record with you, Florio, on this, and I don't know if you'll agree with me on it. I think this is a make or break year for the Buffalo Bills
Without a doubt.
because how much more time are you going to have with this group? I mean, because Josh Allen isn't going to get any younger, and
This is true.
you don't know what the team's going to look like somewhere down, especially come the following season. So I think this is the year where because look, you guys made it to the Super Bowl. I mean, not Super Bowl, the conference championship game last year. You need to take that next step, and that's why I say this is a make or break year for them. So Buffalo wins the division. As far as who I got finishing second, I still got to go with the Miami Dolphins because I mean, look, I mean, you still got Tua, you still got Tyreek, you still got Jalen Waddle, and the way Mike McDaniel runs that offense. So I got Miami finishing second, I got New England finishing third, and I got the Jets finishing in last place. So it's yours, Florio.
Of course, it's Buffalo. I mean, who else would it be? The Buffalo Bills will win the AFC East for a sixth consecutive year. They are in a division with the New York Jets and New England Patriots, who are in the early stages rebuilding, while the Miami Dolphins have wilted in big games in recent years. Buffalo may be susceptible to high-level passing attacks if edge rusher Joey Bosa is not able to stay healthy, and cornerback Tre'Davious White continues to show a decline in coverage. Like last year, though, its Josh Allen-led offense can compensate for a leaky pass defense. Buffalo wins the division, but I'm going to surprise you here. I actually have New England finishing second. I have Miami finishing third, but I do agree the Jets will finish in last. And I got this feeling about New England. I don't know why, but I just do. I don't think they're quite there yet when it comes to playoffs. I think they'll just barely miss out on the playoffs, but you never know. They could get there. So, I've liked what I've seen from them in the preseason so far. And for Buffalo, like Bullock said, it's a make or break year. I mean, why do you think they gave them Hard Knocks, for goodness sakes? I mean, Tuesday nights, HBO, check it out. It's only 5 episodes. They've done 3 already. They got 2 more to go. And I've seen all the episodes so far, and if you watch that show, you wonder why a lot of people, America and the world are starting to slowly start to root for this team. How can you not like this team? This team is so likable, and it's all because of JA-17. And I told Bullock during one of our recent outings, MF was not with us, but MF, you're going to hear this for the first time. After how close they were last year, I have never been more excited about a Buffalo Bills season, going into a Buffalo Bills season, than I am this year. I've got a great feeling about this team. They're going to be in that top echelon. You know that. And I'm going to have to do a hell of a lot of praying that somehow, some way, this is the year they finally break through. And if they do break through, if they do win the AFC, if they do go to the Super Bowl, it will be a homecoming for Josh Allen, because Super Bowl 60 will be at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, a mere 115 miles from Josh Allen's hometown of Fireball, California. The message is simple. We got to get J.A. home. Let's get J.A. home. It's as simple as that. And have I liked what I've seen out of them in the preseason? Honestly, not really. The first game, a little bit more, but that second game was an absolute abomination. I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. I'm out of here. I tuned out. But then, and of course, Josh Allen for the first time not taking a preseason snap, which I think is smart. You want to protect the franchise, obviously, and New England with all the moves that Vrabel has made. I mean, I think New England could be a big surprise this year. Miami, we'll see. I mean, I know Tyreek's had some issues, and of course Tua. Hopefully, I'm praying that Tua can have a healthy season. I don't want to see him get hurt again. That was the big problem for Miami last year. And the Jets, well, they're the Jets. New quarterback, Justin Fields. He's a dynamo, but I don't know what he can do with the Jets. I don't know. But Buffalo wins the division once again. New England second, Miami third, Jets last. MF AFC East, our division.
Yeah, I think right now it's easy to say Buffalo easily should be the favorite and they should win the division, and I don't think there's really going to be much of an argument there. Where it comes, the argument would be between second and third. I think you're absolutely right. I think Miami, I think Miami will hold off New England, and I think they will get the second place spot from the Patriots. I think the Patriots are going to give a lot of people a lot of fits this upcoming year. Um, the one thing that I've been hearing is about the defense, especially when it comes to the Miami Dolphins. A lot of people were worried about the defense and what the defense is going to look like. Well, I'm going to say this. The latest ad by adding Matthew Judon to the Miami Dolphins could actually be a blessing in disguise. And it looks like they are zeroing in on Asante Samuel Jr. Um, there's been some reports that they did bring him into camp, and if they do bring him in and that he ends up becoming a part of the Miami Dolphins, then all of a sudden, not only am I talking about Miami in solidifying the second place spot, but now I'm talking about maybe the Miami Dolphins making the playoff. So I mean that's real could be the real story here. So we'll wait and see how it plays out. But obviously, Buffalo will win the division. No doubt about it. Miami will be second. New England should be third, and I do have the Jets in dead last. So Anthony, back to you.
All right. We move on to the division that came in at number 5, and that division is the NFC West. So let's address the NFC West now. And all right. Tricky division, I'm going to be honest with you. But I'm going to surprise some people. I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers to win this division. The 49ers will enter the season healthy, which bodes well for them. Brock Purdy has dealt with elbow injuries early in his career, though he's been a full participant in practices. Left tackle Trent Williams is at full strength after missing the last 7 games of last season with heel and ankle injuries. More importantly, running back Christian McCaffrey is a full go following an injury-plagued season. The 49ers will be a playoff team if those 3 starters suit up for most of the games. Remember, they're playing against other teams that finished 4th in divisions last season, which softens up their schedule for a bounce-back year. Second, I have the Arizona Cardinals finishing second, and I have them as a playoff team. I have them as a wild card team. The Cardinals should have a balanced offense with Kyler Murray set to play in the same system for a 3rd consecutive season and a pair of ball carriers prepared to split the rushing workload. If Murray has a stronger connection with second-year wideout Marvin Harrison Jr., he should eclipse 4,000 passing yards in a season for the first time in his career. Cardinal defense should be stout, particularly on the interior with the addition of Dalvin Tomlinson and Calais Campbell. Rookie cornerback Will Johnson could be the ball hawk the team needs to force more takeaways. Watch out for the Cardinals in the NFC playoff race after the club doubled its win total between 2023 and 2024. I got the LA Rams finishing 3rd, and I got the Seattle Seahawks finishing 4th. So I have San Francisco winning the division, Arizona 2nd, and a wild card team. I also have the Rams finishing 3rd, and I have Seattle finishing 4th. So that's the NFC West. MF, I'm sure there's going to be some disagreements here, but that's my story in the NFC West. I'm sticking to it. So, MF, let's get your thoughts now on the NFC West.
The one team that I was hearing all year that could make a big run in the West was actually Arizona. I've been hearing a lot of hype about Arizona, and I kind of feel like this could be the year that, yes, that Arizona could take that next step. So I will openly admit, I got Arizona winning the division. I do have San Francisco second though, and I do actually have them making the playoff. Um, Obviously, what did San Francisco in last year was just a lot of key injuries, a lot of injuries that should have made some big runs that made everything fall apart towards the end. Um, I feel like it should have been better more than anything else. So for me, I got San Francisco second. Uh, Right now, I would say third has to be Seattle. Um, it's a tough call here, obviously, because you never know how that plays out. Um, because with Seattle right now, we don't know. I'd probably say the Rams because look, Stafford is hurt. Matthew Stafford has a major back issue right now. There's a lot of concern if he's even going to play this upcoming season. If he's not at 100%, I don't think the Rams are going anywhere. I'm sorry. They don't have the depth. They don't have the explosiveness as they normally would have done in recent years. So I actually would have them, as a matter of fact, I would have them dead last, which is a shocker to me because think about it, just a few years ago, the LA Rams were the Super Bowl champions. So for them to have this fall from grace, it's gonna be a rough, rough, rough year for me. So Arizona, San Fran, playoff spot for them. Seattle and the Rams. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing that too, but yeah, that's I don't know. That's tough for me, but I gotta go. I'm gonna go with San Fran. I think they're gonna have a bounce back year. I know they lost Debo Samuel when he got traded, but I got a feeling that if they could just stay healthy, I think they could have a bounce back year. Arizona will be second and a wild card team. I yeah, the whole Matthew Stafford thing's going to be the issue. So we'll see. But I got Seattle third and the LA Rams finishing last, which, like you said, is a shocker. I mean, because remember 2021, they won the Super Bowl, and who'd have thunk that years later that there's a chance they could go from Super Bowl in 2021 to dead last. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. So it is yours for you.
All right, we move on to the division that came in at number 4, and it's the division that houses the Super Bowl champions, the NFC East. Fly Eagles fly. MF NFC East. What are we how are we feeling about the NFC East?
I am in an agreement with this. I think it will be Fly Eagles fly again. I do have them winning the division. However, this is going to get very crazy because I got Washington coming in second. Oh, by the way, Washington will get a playoff spot and they should be fine. Where it comes to third and fourth, this is tricky because any other year, I would say Dallas is third and New York is fourth, and I just leave it there. But with so much dysfunctionality, with so much turmoil coming from Dallas, I'm about to make a bold statement here. I think Dallas is going to end up dead last in the NFC East. I really think the Giants are going to leapfrog them. And I actually do have the Giants in third. I cannot believe I'm saying this, but for the first time in my career, I absolutely have zero faith in the Dallas Cowboys. And it's not because of, you know, just certainty or because of who's affiliated or whatnot. No, it's just in my honest opinion, I don't have very much faith in the Cowboys, at least coming up for this year. So for me, I'm gonna say it. First place will be Philadelphia. Second place will be the Washington Commanders, and I do believe they'll get a playoff spot. Third will be the New York Football Giants, and I do believe the Dallas Cowboys will come in dead last in the NFC East. Michael Bullock is yours.
Yeah, I got the Eagles winning the division, no doubt about that. Second, and a playoff team, definitely the Washington Commanders. Third and fourth, that's going to be. I can't believe what I'm about to say here, but I'm going to agree with Michael Fletcher. I'm going to go with the Giants finishing third, and the Dallas Cowboys are going to finish dead freaking last. And it's all because of all the turmoil, all the nonsense that we've all the that's been going on with Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons. And I don't know if you guys heard the latest report today from the Dallas Cowboys. When Jerry Jones appeared on, I think it was one of the podcasts from Michael Irvin, he said that Micah Parsons and him were upon reaching an agreement until Micah Parsons' agent came in and said, "You could take that deal and shove it up your ass." What does that tell you, Fletch?
Yeah, that means they are. That means, look, that must have been a low ball deal, and they had us all kind of because we all thought that this was a done deal. We all thought that this was a done deal, that Micah was going to be fine, that everything was going to be good. And all of a sudden, now they're saying, and now this agent turns around and is doing it that way. Um, what can you say? So,
It's 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 just getting ugly. It's
yeah,
really getting ugly, and
yeah,
I think this is going to carry over into the season, and
yeah,
and you're going to hear it all over again. I mean, well, this time with a different coach. You're going
yeah,
to hear Schottenheimer should be fired. Jerry Jones sell the effing team. You're going to hear that all season long.
yeah,
I'll say this right here. Jerry Jones's ego is so big. I mean, even a mansion could even hold his freaking ego in place.
yeah.
I mean, he keeps thinking, "Oh, this is a competitive team. Oh, this team is really good." Really, Jerry?
On
You really
paper, it's not there. Like you
on?
can say it,
It's
and
not even there.
here's the major issues, and I'll exploit it. And I know, and I don't care if any Dallas Cowboy YouTube people wants to play my clip. You can play it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, you
Pardon
want
my
to?
language. But offensively, they don't really have a running back. They don't have a running game. Their offensive line is not what it used to be because I'll openly admit it. 3 years ago, they had the best offensive line in all of the NFL. This time around, I just don't think they do.
It
Receiving
it
core
it
is
sucks. Plain and simple.
receiving core is fair, not great, but okay, not bad. Defensively, there's major holes, and they need Micah. They need Micah Parsons. Parsons would be the one guy that would absolutely help them down the line.
But with the way
Um,
things are going, I just don't. I, I don't see Micah Parsons coming back anytime soon.
yeah,
The divide is just so. It's just so bad. I just don't see
yeah.
how this can get repaired. I'm sorry.
I
It
mean, it can be repaired. There's no doubt in my mind it can be repaired. It's just
But will the damage already be done?
Who is willing? Well, the thing is that the person who I'm claiming, the thing is, this time around, it wasn't because Jerry Jones said that they had a deal done. So, what is Micah Parsons? What was the offer? Was it a lowball offer? What was Micah Parsons' people? What are they doing? Is it them who's causing the ruckus now? Because that's the one thing I'm talking about here is that going into it, everything looked like it was a done deal. So who's causing the friction now? That's the question I would have, to say the very least.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I don't know. I mean, we need to. The thing is, it's like you got one side saying one thing, and you got another side saying another thing. We just don't know who to believe in this whole thing.
because it looks, because like I said, if it was a low ball deal, then no doubt in my mind, Micah Parsons, if the agent is saying that, they're saying to take the contract and shove it up the what, that only means one thing.
It was a
This
low ball
was
deal.
this was a low ball deal. However, if this was a fair deal, and I will openly admit this, if this was a fair deal and Micah is balking at this for more money, then I'm sorry, then I'm gonna attack Micah Parsons. Because, brother, you are not worthy for all this money that you're looking for.
And you
And,
are a nog and a diva.
and at that point, I would honestly claim that this is a major issue. But again,
And I would
we
take it a
need,
step
we,
further, Fletch. That
we need to,
if that's the
we need the details more than anything else, because
yeah.
we don't know
And the
yet.
thing is, Fletch, if what you just said, if that comes to fruition, if I were Jerry Jones, trade Micah Parsons, because if he's going to continue to freaking act like this, even after if he gave him a good a deal that he enjoy that he likes, and the agent's like, no, 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 we want even more. If that's the case, because how much more can you take before you say enough is enough?
Yeah.
So we need to find out the details.
Yeah.
Before we make any assumptions. So, but either way, I think it's because of all this that's going on. I think it's gonna derail the Cowboys season.
Yep.
Plain and simple. It's yours, Florio.
All right. Philadelphia wins the division yet again. The Eagles lost key contributors across the offensive and defensive lines, but they have enough depth to compensate for those key free agent departures. Josh Sweat and Milton Williams recorded a combined 13 sacks and 16 tackles for loss last season. But Pro Bowler Jalen Carter could blossom into an All-Pro. Aziz Ojulari and Josh Uche can make a significant impact on the edge if they stay healthy. Eagles drafted versatile linebacker Jahad Campbell, who can stop the run and rush the passer. New offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo is the biggest question mark in Philadelphia. The first-time play caller must optimize the plethora of talent on that side of the ball. Nevertheless, the Eagles' wealth of offensive talent could overcome any play-calling inefficiencies. Washington Commanders, second in a wild card team. Third place, it is going to be the New York Giants. And in last place, it will be the Dallas Cowboys. And then for the Commanders in 2024, they exceeded expectations with Jaden Daniels, who helped them to the NFC Championship game. They bolstered their offense with the addition of five-time Pro Bowl left tackle Laramie Tunsil, rookie first-round tackle Josh Connerly Jr., and wideout Deebo Samuel. They must extend two-time Pro Bowl wideout Terry McLaurin to build on what it accomplished last season. Nonetheless, the Commanders will face a tougher schedule than last year. making it difficult for them to replicate some of the comebacks they pulled off in the previous season. And Von Miller can be effective in a rotational role, but he's past the age of being a game wrecker. Washington regresses slightly, but still wins 10 or so games. But Philly first, Washington second, Giants third, Dallas last. So there isn't much more to say on that. Coming in at number 3 on our list of the divisions, I believe I saw it was the AFC West. Let me double check on that. Yes. AFC West, it is the next division, and I believe it's Michael Bullock who starts it off. So Bullock, AFC West, who you got? As if we didn't know.
Yeah, you're right. As if we didn't know. Obviously, it's Kansas City. I mean, they're gonna win the division once again because as long as you got Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and all that, especially with Andy Reid roaming the sidelines, this team is definitely. And let's not forget also, guys, they have the bad taste of how they lost that Super Bowl. I mean, it really just left a bitter taste in the mouth. So, and they're going to be motivated this season. So, I got Kansas City finishing in first, and I got to go with Denver second because they surprised like a lot of folks this past season. So I could see them finishing second. I got the Chargers third, and the Raiders dead last. So it's yours, Florio.
And agree to disagree on this. Of course, it's going to be Kansas City. As long as they have number 15 roaming around and so many other things. Since Patrick Mahomes took over the full-time starting role in 2018, the Chiefs have averaged nearly 13 wins a season. They should come close to that mark in the upcoming season. Entering his age 36 term, Travis Kelce has lost some of his big play ability. Excluding his rookie term, he averaged a career-low 8.5 yards a catch last season and was a non-factor in their last 2 playoff outings. The league might suspend wideout Rashee Rice for his role in a multi-car crash in Dallas. Yet you can still count on the Chiefs to win at least 11 or more games, as they've done every year with Patrick Mahomes and head coach Andy Reid joined at the hip. Slight disagreement here. I actually have the Chargers finishing second and a wild card team. Jim Harbaugh turned the underachieving Chargers into a playoff team last season, and he'll build on that foundation. Like most of his previous clubs, Los Angeles is built to physically wear down opponents. They added massive guard Mekhi Becton and bruising running back Omarion Hampton. Najee Harris's status is unclear after he suffered an eye injury in a fireworks incident. But Hampton, 6 feet and 220 pounds, can handle a heavy workload. In 2024, LA allowed the fewest points, and IT signed ball hawking quarterback Dante Jackson, who recorded a career high 5 interceptions last season. Some experts have even gone as far as to say they are equipped to dethrone Kansas City for the division, but I just don't see it yet. I just don't. Denver in third, also a playoff team. If Taloa Hufanga and Dre Greenlaw stay healthy, Denver will field one of the stingiest defenses in the league. Rookie first-round cornerback Jedi Barron will strengthen coverage in the secondary. Head coach Sean Payton must continue to push the right buttons with his play calling. Second-year quarterback Bo Nix is not surrounded by star power. The sum of Denver's offensive personnel has to produce at a high level. Tight end Evan Engram is the Broncos' key offensive addition. In his age 31 term, he's an X factor after missing 8 games because of injury last season. And Denver should get to about 10 wins or so again with a slightly improved offense and a top-tier defense. So in the AFC West, Kansas City wins it until I see something different. Chargers second and a wild card team. Denver third, also a wild card team. And in the basement, as per the usual, it is the Las Vegas Raiders. So Bullock has headed out. I'm sure we'll have him back tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk. So MF and I will take you the rest of the way. So KC, Chargers, Denver, all playoff teams. Vegas in the basement. MF, AFC West.
Yeah, a total agreement with almost everything that you said. I think Kansas City should win the division. the second team should be. I truly believe that the second team will indeed be the Chargers. The third team will be the Denver Broncos, and the fourth and final team definitely should be, relatively speaking. I would practically say, yeah, the fourth team would be the Raiders. So yes, you practically said everything that needed to be said. Nothing more to add. Anthony, back to you.
And the division that came in at number 2, the second most compelling division in the NFL this season, the AFC North. And for good reason.
Yes.
The winner of the division, there's no question about it. It's the Baltimore Ravens. 2-time league MVP Lamar Jackson and 2-time rushing champion Derrick Henry will lead the Ravens to back-to-back AFC North titles. They should have plenty of help from their defense. They may allow the fewest passing yards and touchdowns because of their elite secondary, which features all-pros Marlon Humphrey and Kyle Hamilton, 2-time Pro Bowler Jair Alexander, budding second-year cornerback Nate Wiggins, and rookie first-round safety Malachi Starks. The stacked roster will most definitely compete for that number 1 seed in the AFC, right there with Buffalo and Kansas City. Second place, I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I think they're going to be a wild card team as well. The Steelers roster has changed significantly over the last 2 months with the additions of quarterback Aaron Rodgers, cornerback Jalen Ramsey, and tight end Jonnu Smith. All three will play major roles in getting the team back into the playoffs. Even at age 41, Rodgers should be able to lead a talented, well-coached team to a double-digit win season. Pittsburgh will only play one playoff team from the previous season in its first 6 games, which gives the veteran quarterback plenty of adjustment time with his new teammates. And finishing third is the Cincinnati Bengals, and finishing last will be the Cleveland Browns. So I've got Baltimore winning it, Pittsburgh second, and a wild card. Third, Cincinnati, and last, Cleveland. AFC North, MF. Boy, is this division compelling.
Yeah, this is going to be wild. This is going to be a very interesting story. To me, first division, I totally agree. I think you're absolutely right here. I think it's going to be. I think Baltimore is going to win the division. There's very high hopes for Baltimore. Many people even think Baltimore could even be a Super Bowl contender.
Agreed.
This year, I think that they will. Second, I do believe it's going to be. I do believe second, the number 2 team definitely should be Pittsburgh, even though I'm not really too high on them. 3, I'm going to go with Cincinnati, but I could even see them dead last. Because just like with Dallas' situation, I think Cincinnati is just a big of a problem. I think they have a lot of drama right now, and I really got a bad feeling about Cincy. And fourth will be Cleveland by default, but would I say anything different? Absolutely not. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to add. So, Anthony, it's yours.
Our final division of the night, the division that was voted the most compelling division in the NFL going into this season, the NFC North, the NFC Norris, if you will.
Yes.
Great reason, MF. Look at this division.
It is absolutely stacked. It's absolutely loaded. You can make an argument for any one of these 4 teams to win the division. Detroit is the favorite. And I think a lot of people would not be shocked if Detroit. I think a lot of people will be shocked if Detroit doesn't win the division. I think Detroit will. Once it comes to 2, 3, 4, this is where you take your pick. 2, I'm gonna go with Minnesota, but I'm not entirely convinced. 3 will be Green Bay, and 4 will be Chicago. But again, 2, 3, 4 can go a number of different ways. But the way I feel the division's gonna go is definitely gonna be Detroit winning it. I think Detroit's gonna win the division. Once you go beyond that, who knows? So really nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
I got to be honest. Personally, I want Detroit to win this division. But the thing is, they lost some direction with the departure of their offensive and defensive coordinators. They also lost starting experience on the interior of their offensive line, following the retirement of center Frank Ragnow and the loss of Kevin Zietler via free agency. As a result, this team must reinvent itself with inexperience at play calling positions and along the offensive line. Defensive coordinator Kelvin Shepard will call plays for the first time in his career. Offensive coordinator John Morton has been a coordinator for one full season, but that was in 2017. And also, the Lions will not be indoors as much as they were in 2024. Among the playoff teams from last year, there's a slight chance that they could have the most significant regression following a 15-2 season. But because of the talent that they have, I'm not overly confident, because losing Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, massive. But I still love that talent, though. They still got great talent, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So it's not an overwhelmingly confident pick, but it's more of a reluctant pick. But I'm going to go with Detroit. Second, I'm going with Green Bay. They went 1-5 against NFC North opponents, which accounted for all but one of their losses. They will not finish with a poor division record this season. They bolstered their eighth-ranked passing attack from the previous season, signing left guard Aaron Banks and drafting wideout Matthew Golden in the first round. And even without Christian Watson for a portion of the season with a torn ACL, Jordan Love will have the playmakers to carve up defenses with Golden, Jaden Reed, Romeo Dobbs, Dontavion Wicks, Tucker Kraft, and Luke Musgrave in the pass-catching group. Yes, they traded quarterback Jair Alexander to Baltimore. So Nate Hobbs' recovery timetable following arthroscopic knee surgery is something to monitor at the beginning of the season. Green Bay may have a leaky secondary on the boundary, but it still has a top-notch roster. They're also a playoff team, Green Bay. And I'm even going to go with Chicago to make a playoff push. While second-year quarterback Caleb Williams shows improvement under new head coach and offensive play caller Ben Johnson, pay attention to the Bears' new identity. I know I sure did this past Sunday night when they smashed Buffalo in that preseason game. This offseason, they fortified the interior of its O-line with the addition of guards Joe Tooney and Jonah Jackson and center Drew Dahlman. As he did in Detroit, Johnson will field a high-level ground attack. New Orleans defense is ranked within the top 9 in scoring for 4 consecutive seasons under former defensive coordinator Dennis Allen, who will elevate an underachieving Chicago defense. And I look for the Bears to push for a playoff spot, and I think they'll get one. So I'm going with Detroit first, Green Bay second, Chicago third, and I've got Minnesota last. So that's how I see that playing out. So MF, one last order of business. I can't believe it's already at this point, but it feels like just yesterday this season started. But this Sunday, we got the Big 3 championship game, and my team is looking for major redemption from last year.
They are looking for major redemption, but they're going up against a former Big 3 champions in the Chicago Triplets.
Oh, boy.
What a final this is going to be. It was unbelievable. Miami 305, formerly Three's Company, has made it to back-to-back Big 3 championship games. But this time around, they're going up against Dr. J, Julius Irving, and the Chicago Triplets. For Dr. J, this is his first ever Big 3 championship. And the championship trophy is his namesake. The Dr. J, Julius Irving Big 3 championship trophy. That was supposed to be an homage, a tribute to the greatness of his era during the time in basketball. For him to be playing for his own trophy in Orlando, where this is going to be the championship game in Orlando, it's going to be absolutely a phenomenal matchup. Miami 305 is the favorite going into the final. They are the favorites. However, you cannot discount the way that Chicago has been playing all year long. These two teams have had craziness up to this point. And yes, expect this to be an explosion of a finale. I cannot wait for this to happen. Who's gonna win? We won't know. But one thing is for sure, man. Whoever comes out the champion would have deserved it and earned it, to say the very least. So can't wait to see how this goes down. But the final Sunday afternoon on CBS on the mothership, along with the, I believe the consolation game is also going to be played at that time as well.
All-Star game.
Huh?
The All-Star game.
The All-Star game as well. And yeah, it's going to be a massive final. One night, what an afternoon it will be on Sunday. A champion will rise. Who's it going to be? Well, you're just going to have to find out. Join me and the crew. We're going to be in the house as we're going to kick off and put the curtain down on this Big 3 2025 season. Only one gets to hoist the Dr. J trophy. Is it Chicago? Is it Miami? We will find out on Sunday afternoon. Anthony, it is all yours.
One more. You know I had to do it. So I know how much you love it when I do that. But it's no secret. I'm a Miami 305 fan, Three's Company. So we shall see what happens. But here's the thing, though. Miami, Michael Beasley, MVP, second year in a row. But he's got it. Here's the thing, though. He already led his team to victory against the coach of the year, Nancy Lieberman. Nancy Lieberman was the coach of the year for the Dallas Power, and rightfully so. And Miami knocked them off, thanks to the MVP, Michael Beasley. Now they got to go up against a very, very dangerous Chicago triplet team led by the rookie of the year, Montrezl Harrell. And he is a beast. So what a way to conclude this summer in the city season of Big 3 basketball this Sunday afternoon on CBS. In the immortal words of MF and Gorilla Monsoon, it's going to be something else. It really is. So let the chips fall where they may. One team, it's either going to be redemption for one team, or Dr. J is gonna have a moment, and what a moment that would be for the legend himself. So imagine him winning his own trophy. That would be something else, really. So with all that being said, that will put the bow on this season finale, this regulation season finale of TXN Sports World. We want to thank you all so very much for your support all season long throughout our regulation shows. I know we didn't really have many shows, over the last month or so because of the lull period, but that all changes. Before we get into that, let's run down the feature content. Tomorrow night, 10:30 MF, Braves Fan 95 will have it. We got the Cerebral Smack Talk, and we got another loaded show for you. We got TNA Impact. We got Friday Night SmackDown. We got to preview the NXT Heat Wave. And I know MF and the Mikey's Mindset, I know he's going to share the results of the Triple Mania. And we're also going to, and time permitting, we're also going to have a preview of RWA Legacy that goes down this Saturday night. MF and I will be in attendance for that. So you will, we'll give you a rundown of that. And then, of course, Tuesday, we got Ridiculously Raw. And then 1 week from tonight, the season premiere, the return of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday, headlined by Texas versus Ohio State. Wow. That's going to be something. So we're back for another season of College Football Thursday next Friday. And that's it. And we'll let you know about any other content coming your way. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk over on MF's channel, Braves Fan 95, this is Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, the phenom Michael Bullock. And of course, always and forever, our first lady, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, go to Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday. And until tomorrow night, for the Cerebral Smack Talk, you've been watching the regulation season finale of TXN Sports World right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody. Bye.